Okay, so welcome to the Road to Platinum. On the flip side, the Allied version. I did actually start recording a game yesterday, but my opponent was playing Japan and failed to take Pearl Harbor. He had a really bad attack, so we just resigned straight away, which is fair enough, I guess. It was an awful start. So yeah, I got an easy win. So I thought there's no point uploading that. So what we'll do, we'll start again. So I'm against Commander Slash this time. Which is interesting because I watched a game very recently with TCG, who played against Commander Slash, and I think Commander Slash is like upper gold, lower plat. So yeah, we're currently sitting at silver, so a bit of a mismatch in terms of like rankings, but I think we're probably pretty even, I suppose, overall. He's probably a better player, I would say, because I've not proved myself to be an upper gold. Well, definitely not a lower plat allied player, but possibly an upper gold. But still, it should be a good game. I'll give him a good scrap. So, usual 2 tanks, 4 infantry. See what our luck is like. Alright. Let's see how we do. Good start so far. Let's go kill this tank off. No return fire? Ah, shame. Still, good West Russia. Not so good Ukraine. Okay. Although, bad return fire as well, so we'll keep pushing. Oh my god. Not good, not good. It's lucky they're missing a lot of shots as well, because this could have gone really badly for me. And these guys, the 3s are not hitting at all. I'm going to really grind this one out. Miss. At least one miss here? Yeah. Okay, cool. That plane's not hit either at all. Alright, gotta keep pushing. Please finish it off. Thank you. Okay, miss. Miss. Yeah, that's annoying. Not a great Ukraine at all, but it was one at least, so that's fine. But now we don't need to put an anti-air in there because it's worthless anyway, so we'll just leave it as it is. 2 back here, 1 here. Up there. Okay, looks good, good, good. Yep. Yeah, I think with those kind of attacks, you're just going to be grateful that actually Ukraine fell, because that could have very easily not fallen, and we would have been open and probably leaving in a German unit here as well, aircraft. So at least we took it. That's the main thing. West Russia was solid, so not too bad. Okay, over to Commander Slash. Okay, so we'll be jumping around the rounds a little bit quicker from here on out, as I wasn't able to record every single go for each nation. But a good start for Germany and Commander Slash. He killed my destroyer in Season 10. By Canada, and also had 3 ships left after the Season 7 battle, despite having 1 less sub. So yeah, good start there. Initially looking back at this now, I don't like this attack. I definitely should have gone for the Japanese transport by Shanghai. I think that's a mistake to not go for that, because it sets up that really strong Japan 3 timing on India. They get a really, really hard push. Meaning you have to pull so much in to defend lots of fighters from multiple nations. It's hard to defend. Well, it's okay to defend, but you have to pull fighters from at least Russia to help out. So it's not great for the German-Russian front trying to pull fighters away. So I think this was a mistake going for everything on the German battleship in the Med. Decent rolls though. Season 7, killed the cruiser, killed a sub. Didn't obviously go for a fleet. I didn't feel we could justify it with 5 fighters sitting in northwestern. So I went for 2 fighters for UK and some 3 land units for India. So yeah, a decent start for me here, but yeah, the mistake there was not going for the Japanese transport. It's always a really good idea to kill that. So not killing that's going to cause me problems down the line. So skipping ahead to US 2, we couldn't move our transports to Season 10 in round 1 because the German sub was watching it, so we had to delay that for a turn, unfortunately. So we're a little bit slower on the US push in the Atlantic. Yeah, it's definitely not an ideal start. Obviously, at this point, you'd like to have in an ideal world, have a UK fleet up and running, and also be hitting Norway and Finland this round. But obviously, given how well the Germans start, we've had to delay that, unfortunately. So we're slowly approaching on Norway and Finland, but not quite there yet. But for 10 infantry here, probably not the best purchase. Numbers-wise, obviously, it was good. I think my thinking here was, yeah, given the pressure that India's got on it now, I wanted maximum numbers near Russia because I was planning on sending forces down to help out with the defence of India. So I was thinking about that. Yeah, unfortunate rolls there. 2 hits from the infantry and artillery, so I had to pull out. I wasn't going to risk a Russian fighter for 1 German tank. That's not going to be worth it. Those Russian planes are so valuable. But yeah, pull the 2 Russian fighters down, as well as 3 tanks and an infantry to help out with India. Now this is a direct consequence from me not taking the transport in 61 in round 1 UK. It's meant that I've had to pull so many troops from Russia, as well as, you know, everything I can scramble with the UK as well. That's how powerful the J3 India attack is. So it's forced a lot of my heavy, or all my heavy hitting units out of Moscow defence and down to India. So yeah, the pressure is on Russia now, as well as India. So it's forced me in a bit of a tight situation now. So UK3, I had to buy 3 fighters and deploy them directly into India because the odds were just not good enough with 3 infantry. So I had to, yeah, unfortunately buy 3 fighters. So it wasn't the most efficient, obviously, build, but it had to be done to get the odds. So we are defending. I can't remember the exact odds on India, but we were favoured to win. So that was the main thing, just securing that. Going for Algeria here, trying to clear out the last of the German troops. And a hell of a round 1. No hits on anything and 3 hits back. So crap start, but I thought I'd push on. Again, not a great round 2 of combat. So good return fire for me. It's been pretty bad from both sides here. Again, another miss. Yeah, really weird battle, that one. Really weird. Like swinging back and forth there, but we did manage to take it in, which is good. Yeah, so we do have Africa now, which is good. I had to put this infantry in there and also block the sea zone with the aircraft carrier just to avoid the bombardments to give me the odds as well. So it was an all-in defence of India. Also, what I don't like here is moving the fighters down to that province in Africa. It's much better, I think, looking back at this, to land them in Gibraltar. Because from Gibraltar they can land in the Caucasus and then go to India. Having them down that far in Africa doesn't really help out too much. So I think looking back, they should be in Gibraltar. It's a much better landing zone because obviously having them in the Caucasus is much more valuable. Although I suppose in this sense we were about to lose the Caucasus as well because Germany has been pushing forward. So yeah, Axis in control at the moment. Okay, so we're jumping ahead to US 4. We've gone for a Finland shuck in this game to try and get a mass in Finland, then try and help out Russia, who is now pretty much, yeah, they are back in Moscow, just trying to defend. So yeah, we're trying to get as many US troops on the ground to help out as soon as possible. Yes, the game itself will be very similar from this round until, well, for the next, number of rounds. It's going to be a pretty similar situation. India's going to be pressured by the Japanese, while also Moscow's being pressured from the Germans. And it's a case of me being, just trying to defend both for as long as possible while I gain the numbers, the US numbers in the north, to obviously move into Karelia and then hopefully force the Germans away, or at least, secure Moscow itself. Now it's worth pointing out, all of this is a direct result from me not taking that Japanese transport because it's set up this really strong Japan 3 attack on India, and it's meant I've had to pull things away to defend, and combined with a not so great Russia start, it's meant that obviously I'm having to defend on 2 fronts now, which is difficult. Obviously, you need the fighters in really both areas. So it was a balancing act, trying to obviously just keep the odds good for both India and Moscow, So they didn't want to either one. Obviously, Moscow's the priority, but you don't want India to fall either. It's a good bottleneck for the Japanese. So if you can hold it, it does, you know, buy Moscow some time, at least on the eastern front through China. So yeah, after this round, Germany will be in the Caucasus, and we'll be essentially just defending both India and Moscow now, trying to hold on as long as possible while the Americans build up numbers and arrive to relieve the the pressure a little bit. So yeah, I think this is a definite lesson not to ignore that transport and don't let this happen, because if you take it, then the Japanese approach is a lot slower, giving the British more time to obviously defend India more easily, so they won't need Allied help. But as it was, we got hit pretty hard in Japan 3, so yeah, we were on the back foot for the long term now. It's just about surviving until US arrives. Okay, so we're jumping ahead here to round 9. So there wasn't a lot of change between round 4 and round 9. It was just pretty much the same deal, defending both things. Now it's at round 9 that I realised my position is crumbling. We don't have now the forces to both hold off the Moscow attack from the Germans, and also India, because I need all my Allied fighters in Moscow to hold it off. Which obviously compromises my Indian defence, so I had to move out. Now, if I'd realised that a bit sooner, I could have pulled my US fighters out as well, but I only realised on the UK's turn, unfortunately, so we will be sacrificing all the remaining US and Russian troops in India, annoyingly, but yeah, there we go. So the game plan now obviously drastically changes. I realise I can't hold both, so the game plan now for me is going to be to go to Berlin and try and just take Berlin and kill the Germans off. Because we've got a hell of a US stack that's been building in Finland, so we can push into Karelia this round. And obviously we're going to stack Moscow as best as we can to try and kill as many Germans on the defence as we can, because obviously they're their main stacks in West Russia. And also the British are going to be moving up towards the Caucasus and hopefully distracting them as well, while our main US stack moves towards Berlin. Because I don't mind Russia falling as long as we can take Berlin, because if Berlin falls, that's a game changer. Moscow can fall, but as long as we get some value from that, which is going to be hopefully Berlin. So yeah, drastic game change now. We're going to go all in. We're obviously way behind now. Not way behind, but we are in a bad position, so I've got to make something happen now, and that's going to be the push to Berlin. So jumping ahead to round 10 for the UK. Obviously the US have moved into Karelia now, so we're 2 moves away from hitting Berlin. The Germans have taken Moscow, killed off pretty much all their infantry. They only had 4 artillery, obviously all their planes, and 13 tanks left. So we'll be hopefully taking some of those tank numbers down as we move into the Caucasus to try and bait an attack. We'll be going for France and Northwestern again, just to try and keep trading with the Germans to keep their numbers as low as possible. Obviously the main killer blow is going to come from the US, so I'm happy to trade with the UK until we get their main attack going. Japan took India, but only lightly, which surprised me, because I do think they had the numbers to hold India. I'm pretty sure they had the numbers to hold it, definitely. I'm not sure why they took it lightly, but that for me is good though, because it means I can just, you know, delay their inevitable onslaught on Africa by retaking Africa. Retaking India, I mean. Yeah, so that's slowed the Japanese down, which is good, but we've got a huge, obviously since Moscow fell, we've got a huge swing in attack power in favour of the Axis. Obviously lost a lot of our allied planes, but there we go. So, yeah, round 10, on the way to Berlin. So here we are, UK 11. This is the big one. We'll be going for the attack now. The US are in range, so yeah, Germany didn't go for any major attacks on France or anything, so we had some land troops in France to push in as well as everything else we could do. So it was an all-hands attack on Germany. Obviously, it's a suicide mission for the UK, but the idea is to kill as many infantry as we can for the US, give them an easier time when they do go in. I forget the odds exactly. I think it was fairly strong in our favour though. Obviously we had to account for the Japanese fighters in Moscow that would have been reinforcing, but yeah, it was looking fairly good. No attacks on the air defence, which is nice as we went in. Not the greatest hits though, only 8 kills for us on the initial round. and he got 20 hits, which was the perfect number to wipe us out in one round. So the British lost everything in the first round. For 8 infantry, not a great. I was hoping for a little bit more than that. So it wasn't the best of attacks, but still, 8 infantry down is still a good thing. Look at the shots though. There, Archangel, 4 infantry attacking, all got a hit. Where was the accuracy with Berlin? crazy hits. So yeah, we've done enough here. Again, I'm not sure exactly the odds, but we did enough to allow the US a good attack here. There's still a fair defense. They've still got like I think it's 15 fighters, including the Japanese ones. So it's a pretty sizable defense, as well as obviously a decent number of infantry. But we had the odds. The attack power now as well is hugely in favour of the Axis, but yeah, it's going to hopefully change shortly. Okay, so US 11, the main round and the decisive battle of this game. So we had a number of infantry just shipped in, around 10 from Eastern Canada, so we had a huge ball of infantry to attack Berlin with. But we don't have a lot of attacking power, only got a couple of planes, only 1 tank I believe. There's not a lot of hitting power, we just got sheer numbers basically, overwhelming them really. So yeah, it's going to be hard to I forget the exact odds in this battle, but it was very much in our favour. So just purely by numbers we're going to overpower them, which is good. Throwing in everything we can though, make sure we get as good at odds as possible. So we had 75 attackers, obviously 2 of those being bombardments, but still huge numbers going into Berlin this round. Also all the Japanese planes were in there as well, including bombers, so that was good for me definitely, because we're going to kill off a lot of planes for the Axis. So I believe they only had a couple of planes, yeah, maybe a few in India and maybe 1 in Sichuan, but they had, yeah, their air force was very much diminished after this battle. So no hits from the anti-air going in, which is pretty nice. Not bad rolls. Took out 15 infantry on the initial attack. Again, obviously we're expecting more hits back on that first round, but we've got such a block of infantry to burn through at the start, it's not going to be too bad. So by round 2 of the combat we've destroyed all their infantry and artillery. So now it's going to be breaking through into the high value units now. Getting the planes. Obviously huge hits back from the the fighter defense, but not a problem. We had the infantry numbers for that. So there we go. So still 24 infantry and artillery left, which is good. Huge losses for the Axis there, mainly the aircraft, obviously for the Japanese as well, which is huge. So yeah, Berlin falls with no hope of a retake, which was nice. And I think it's worth mentioning at this point as well, Germany controls Moscow, which I think is a crucial factor in the result of this game. If Japan had been controlling Moscow, it would have been extremely hard for me to maintain this. Obviously we're still behind, because yeah, Japan's got 150 attack power, and we've got less than 100 as the US, so we're obviously very much diminished at the moment. But the good thing is that the Japanese have got no immediate deployment zones near Berlin, so they can't easily reinforce Europe to try and take Berlin back. So Berlin will be long secure for us, which is good. So just a case of maintaining numbers and holding off the Japanese. So jumping into round 12 for the US, and this will be the final round of this game, because Commander Slash resigned after I took my US turn, understandably given the situation. I think, as I mentioned before, if Japan had been controlling Moscow at this point, there may have been a chance for, to still come back and win the game. Possibly, it would have been really hard even then. But I think given the fact that he wasn't controlling Moscow, it was just dead income for the Axis. Obviously, the Japanese have only got a 4 deployment zoning the courses, which is not going to keep up with Italy, Germany, and potentially, well, it would have been, it's 8 units per turn from UK being shipped into Karelia, so there's just no way to hold that back. Just too strong, really. I was shipping things into Africa to prevent any sort of major income loss there from the Japanese. They were making moves there, and also I've been defending Western United States as well from any shipments of troops from the the Japanese fleet in the Pacific. So all bases were covered really. It was just a case of me pushing out through Europe now with mass infantry and just making a play on Moscow at some point. So yeah, it was over, but yeah, really interesting game. It was a lot of fun. Well played to Commander Slash. It was a good game. Yeah, I really enjoyed this one. This is probably one of the better games I've been a part of this season. It's nice to get these interesting games that don't quite play along the same standard routes as most games. So taking Berlin was it was good fun. But fair play to him. So yeah, economy-wise, just the Japanese had no way back at this point. The US was above 60, UK was still above 30. So yeah, it would have been a long, slow bleed out for the Japanese while they lost ground in Europe and obviously eventually Asia as well. So yeah, don't blame him for resigning here. Yeah, so a final look at the war report here. We can see we've got 180 attack power now. Axis has got 170, and obviously there's a huge difference in the economy as well. So that gap's only going to get bigger and bigger as the Japanese lose ground. So there it is. That's my game against Commander Slash. Again, well played, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next game.